One way that I like to think about research is, where does the idea come from? And the typical approach in science is for a scientist, a professor, a researcher in a lab to be sitting and just have that eureka moment, aha. This is typical, where the research idea comes from a scientist, they do the work, they publish it in peer-reviewed journals that are really not very easy to read, and if they're lucky, maybe it's covered by a press release or covered in a news magazine to reach the public. But my group and I tend to take a more applied approach to research. We figure if we're there's so many important questions out there in the world that need to be answered, why should we just be dreaming up questions out of the blue? So we like to work with users that we engage with and ask them, what do you need to know? What would be helpful to you? Finding out what are the open questions that really need to be answered, using that to develop a research plan, yes, writing the research publications, but also thinking about what are useful outcomes for other audiences. Not everybody needs a research paper written. Some people like to have data given that they can analyze, images for a report, a finding that can help them make a decision. So we try to deliver the research in traditional means, but also means that can reach new audiences. Once we document the success, we try to share the work that we're doing, building awareness, forging new relationships, getting new questions, a cycle. For the past few years, I've been involved with efforts at NASA to make satellite data more usable by different communities. There's been hundreds of millions of dollars invested in advanced satellite technology, but often it isn't getting used by all of the people who could use it. And HAQAST was trying to be a front door to connect NASA with the people who are interested in air quality, air pollution issues. Because if you were somebody who worked on air pollution and you thought, I want to use satellite data, who do you turn to? It's really hard to know, where is the front door? So HAQAST was trying to be that front door. This is actually a map of monitors that measure PM 2.5, those tiny particles that are bad for our health. And so just like if a tree falls in the forest and no one is there to hear it, does it make a sound? When you have no air pollution monitor and it's a high air pollution event, it does not register. Nobody knows about it. When it comes to satellites, they can fill in the gaps. They're not as good as ground level monitors for many different reasons. One is that they're mostly once a day measurements rather than all day. They don't measure all the different pollutants. They don't see the surface where we're breathing. They kind of see more of the column. But when you're choosing between having no information from a measurement source or a satellite data, they can really be a nice complement. When we're thinking about air quality, there's a collection of satellites that are producing information that we can use. NASA launched the Health and Air Quality Applied Sciences team, or HAQAST, and this is a national team of researchers now trying to connect satellite data and other NASA tools with health and air quality stakeholders. Where a big part of our mission is to hear from potential users who could use satellite data, who might use satellite data, who are using satellite data, and trying to say, what are your research questions and how can we answer those questions?